So if you're gonna wear my t-shirt, you got to make the choice. Jump on daddy's speakers, you will feel my voice. Jump back with your heart attack. I'm what my daddy said I'd never be. So tell the folks at home I'm making history. 'Cause it's making time, and we can rock all night. Yeah, so damn tight. Woo! Tight.
Now, here is the clip to Private Parts.
So if you wanna wear my t-shirt, you gotta make the choice. Jump on daddy's speaker, so you can feel my voice. Jump back with your heart attack. I'm what my daddy said I'd never be. So tell the folks at home I'm making history with my private parts. My private parts. I'm coming from the heart with my private parts.
As you can tell, it's the same song. It's got different lyrics. It's a solid album track. But, you know, I think the Private Parts lyrics were a little forced. I think he was trying to get in the movie there. But they turned the song down. They ended up using a Van Halen song. I think it might have been Jamie's Crying or something. That was in the film. What do you think of this one, Dave?
Yeah, again, this is like an okay song. It's not a great song.
Okay.
It fits in well within the context of the album.
Right.
So it's a decent album track. But if you ever hear Howard talk about this song where he's like, I really wanted to like this song.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't good enough to put in the movie.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah. I couldn't. And I think you might be right. I wouldn't bet against you that this song might have been a leftover from Your Filthy Little Mouth.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, so first of all, Roth was using it like a year before the album came out, trying to get it in the movie.
Yep.
And it just, like, it goes along, but there's no, like, the riff is okay.
Right.
But there's nothing really that memorable to it. When you listen to the lyrics, and then you realize, oh, he was going to use this in a Howard Stern movie.
Right.
And you listen to both, you can like, oh, now that makes a little more sense if you know Howard Stern's history and what Dave was doing to the lyrics and somewhat changing them. So, again, this song's okay.
Yeah.
But to me, that's all it is. It's just okay.
Right. Now, number 13, as we're winding down the album, Weekend with the Babysitter, another Roth title. This is a John 5 Roth Bob Marlette combination in terms of the writing. Lots of groove on this one. Dave does a double vocal the way Axl Rose does here. This is another kind of a deeper groove attitude song, lots of swagger. This reminds me a little of Ladies' Night in Buffalo type of vibe.
I got no respect. She's a no limits kind of creature. Let's hope that mom and daddy are at a triple feature. Suddenly occurs to me, maybe I need therapy. Cause I'm also hot for teacher. Wow. Telephone, her voice is steady, she knows. Little Elvis is combat ready. All right. Weekend with the babysitter. Weekend with the babysitter.
As the lyrics, she's a no limits kind of creature. Let's hope mom and dad are at a triple feature. And then he also says, I'm also hot for teacher. He had a little name check there for Van Halen. The girl is combat ready. Another quick lyric from Dave. And what?
No. Little Elvis is combat ready.
Oh, is that what he says? Oh,
yes.
Little Elvis, which everybody knows Dave has nicknamed his penis, Little Elvis. You know, it's not always good to use the little adjective when talking about your own penis, but that's all right. At least he's honest. I like this song. I think it's one of the best ones on the album. It's a total David Lee Roth vibe. I really like the groove here. What do you think of Weekend with the Babysitter?
Wow, I do not think it's one of the best songs on the album at all. In fact, I think it's John 5's weakest song on the album.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, I like the name check to Van Halen.
Weaker
with Hot
than Relentless?
Yes.
Ah, that's surprising.
Yeah, because like I said, I like the OTT.
Yep.
I like the OTT, so I can forgive a lot of sins.
Okay.
with the OTT. I mean, I do agree that vocally Roth is better on this song than he is on Relentless because he's more in his wheelhouse and he does that better. But it's like I said, like the Terry Kilgore songs, most of them are. Was this a Terry Kilgore? No, this isn't even a Terry Kilgore song, right?
This is John 5.
That's the thing. This is John 5, but I equate it as a Terry Kilgore song. So, because it kind of slows it down and it just, I don't know. This is. If John 5 wanted to get rid of a song on this album, this one would have been it for me.
Okay. And we are on to our last song, number 14, Black Sand. This is a Terry Kilgore, David Lee Roth co-write. If you remember in our interview with Terry Kilgore, he was incredibly proud of this song. Terry does some great work here. This is a beautiful tune, almost Zeppelin-esque as well. Roth's vocals are very, very secondary and in the background here.
Place that's not on any map, beyond the seven seas. Black sand.
Kilgore is all over this thing. This is his opus here. Roth is merely whispering in the background for effect. This song really doesn't fit on this album all that well, but it kind of has a nice ending as the last song. It's just got a little bit of a different vibe. It almost has a similar vibe to Sunburn from Your Filthy Little Mouth, I think. I'm wondering if it was an extra on Your Filthy Little Mouth and they chose Sunburn instead. I don't know. That's not exactly fact or anything. I was just wondering. But this is definitely a very different David Lee Roth song. Right, Dave?
Oh, and I love it.
Yeah.
For me, this is one of the better songs. In fact, even one of the best songs on the album. Roth slows it down.
Right.
And he really acoustically, he knocks this one out of the park. I think it's the only song on the album that has any hint of keyboards on it at all. But it works like a charm.
Yeah.
And normally when an album ends with a mellow song, I'm always like, oh, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
No, don't do that. Like, it should be uplifted.
Right, yeah.
You know, like every album should end with Jungle Land. Should always have, right? Like Bruce Springsteen's Jungle Land. Epic.
Yeah.
Every song with Here in Jungle, like every, you know.
It's a very definitive end.
Right. Like very, you know, I don't want to say operatic, but there's a theme and, you know, like, high level.
Right.
And Black Sand is not that at all, but it works. It brings the album down a little bit, but not in a negative way. And again, like this song fades out with like the guitar solo and stuff like that. And even though it's the longest song on the album, you kind of like you said about 7 songs ago, oh no, I wanted to go just a little more. But really, the song's already 5 minutes long. So how long you're gonna go?
Right.
Again, it has a long intro, which maybe could have been edited down a little bit.
Right.
Roth's vocals are good on this song. I think sometimes he's just like he's a little off sometimes in this song.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. He doesn't quite. I don't know. I don't want to say pitchy, but not in his wheelhouse. Like there's something still slightly off.
Dave,
but
you know what it almost sounds like to me? I swear to God, it almost sounds like a scratch vocal. It almost sounds like the song itself is all finished and nice, but it almost sounds like he threw on a vocal, like almost like improvised it a little bit, and he
said, "Okay, we're done."
He's very much in the background. This is the one song on this album that is not very much in the forefront. Dave is almost like doing background vocals on like a Terry Kilgore song here. Terry's the leader here.
No, he definitely is.
Yeah.
And you wonder if it's because Dave's vocal is a little off, why it's somewhat buried in the mix. But the song still works.
Right, because the song is great.
Right. But I mean, it kills me to say this, but Roth is like the weakest part of the song.
Absolutely. And that's the thing that just kind of makes it a little sour for me, and that I'm not so high on this, because I felt like Terry's song deserved better. Like, he really, like, you almost need, like David Coverdale or something, like somebody on there to really knock it out of the park or something. But I don't know. I don't think that Roth did the song justice. So,
well,
whatever.
I think he did it justice, but I think he could have done a better job.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think Roth brings the song down so much that he turned it into a spectacular song. I still think it's really, really good.
Right.
But, yeah, you're right. They could have done another vocal take and really knocked it out of the park.
Right, absolutely. Well, that wraps up this album, and
no! We are not ending this conversation without a Dave versus Sam versus Van Halen comparison. No way.
Oh, wait. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you talking about here?
Okay. So, come on. Is this a Van Halen podcast? What are we doing here?
Of course, but what are you referring to?
Okay, so, which is better? This album or Van Halen 3?
Oh, come on. You know the answer is this album.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Now, here's because it's 1998.
Yeah.
We have to ask another question. Now, I know Sammy didn't have an album out in 98.
Right.
But he did have an album out in 97.
Right.
Called Marching to Mars.
Yes.
So, the question to you is, DLR Band or Marching to Mars?
I like DLR Band. I listened to this album a hell of a lot more than Marching to Mars. I like Marching to Mars, but I think this album is definitely more in the vein of where Van Halen fans want to go. Look, the only thing I might have done with this album is maybe trim a few different songs here and there. But I really think that this album's biggest problem is that it wasn't marketed properly. It didn't have a great cover. It didn't have an album title. It didn't have a great band name. It didn't have a great band logo. It had no video. It had no record company. It had no tour. It needed all of these goddamn things. It had no, for Christ's sake, Dave didn't even go out and promote it. David Lee Roth? Are you kidding me? On his own record label? He should have been all over the place, but this was not great timing for Roth. The end of the 90s, no one wanted to know anybody from the 80s by 98. David Lee Roth was in the bargain bin at this point. His record contract with Warner Brothers was out of commission, and for Christ's sake, what artist was making their own albums? That was considered a very poor stance back then. He was looked at as like a man on the street at this point. However, today it's different. Like John 5 says in the interview, he was ahead of his time. He was making his own albums. That's happening now. Now artists are getting together and say, you know what? I'm going to write it and produce it myself and put it out myself, and they know how to do all of that. This is like a great meal, and no one showed up to the restaurant. I mean, it just that's the kind of thing here. But I think in terms of looking back and listening, this is one of those albums that is a gem. Like, go back, rediscover it. I mean, and unfortunately, not having it on Spotify or iTunes does not help that matter. I mean, you gotta really get it out there. I'm hoping that when the California sessions come out, and I really think we're on the verge of that. I have a feeling if you listen to the interview with John 5 and you piece a little breadcrumbs together, I think you're getting the vibe that is coming sooner than later. I think we're going to see the California sessions before the Wolfie album and before the Van Halen whatever comes out. Okay? So I think that if they do that, I would urge John and Roth to re-release this and have some sort of basis to compare it to, and also let people rediscover it. You know, this is out there. You can catch it on YouTube, folks. That's for sure. You can get it for free on YouTube. So go to YouTube and listen to it, and it's all there, even though you can't get it on Spotify or iTunes or buy it in the store. And you can probably get it on Amazon.com on a used